Good evening, welcome to the latest live from Last Bell Boxing. We're back live, lads, and this time we're staying. And it's going to be on a Thursday night, like usual. The times may vary for anyone watching this back. This one's going to be 7 o'clock. We'll probably vary it between 7 and 8, but we're back doing lives. We're going to do this sort of live where we have our regulars on. Today we've got Chris. How are you, pal?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
UK Boxing Bros, right?
Boxing Bros UK.
Boxing Bros UK.
Cheers.
We've got world champion trainer Daz Metcalf. How are you, pal?
Right, pal.
And all the way from the other side of the pond, the boxing man, Brett. How are you, mate?
Doing well, lads. Doing well.
Good. What's happening with the background, mate? I was hoping to see that plush scenery.
Mate, I can drop in if you want. The reason why I'm in here, I'll tell you the truth, because the missus has just landed in England and I've got 3 weeks in the house, and I'm not usually allowed to do these interviews in the house. So me and the dog are all snuggled up, look, ready to go, lads.
Nice, mate. Nice. Right. Okay. So we got a bit of a varied show this week. There's not a massive card on, so we're not going to go through a card like we would normally do on our lives. This week we lost a British boxing great in heavyweight Joe Bugner. R.I.P. to Joe. Thoughts go back to his family and all of that. I'd like to do a little bit on this, lads, and talk a little bit about Joe's career, because for at least this generation, he's definitely gone under the radar as a fighter, as often happens, you know, because he's not he wasn't in the media. He hadn't been in the media for a very, very long time. It's very easy to forget certain fighters, and Joe's one of them, I think. So I'd like to do a little bit about him. Then once I've done my little bit of spiel, mate, we'll ask a couple of questions, and I think this might create a nice little topic between us, because I think we're going to come up with different answers here, which is what boxing is all about. So let's crack straight on then. So Joe Bugner made his debut in, I think, 1967. He had 83 fights over 3 decades. I'll let that sink in. 83 fights over 3 decades. He only got stopped 4 times. So his record was 69, 13, and 1. He only got stopped 4 times. Those 4 times were his pro debut, would you believe? He then didn't get stopped for another 15 years, something like 60 fights into his career against Ernie Shavers. Now,
Can't believe you got stopped by Shavers, mate.
Being stopped by Ernie Shavers is no slight to anybody, is it? Because I think Ernie Shavers could knock an horse out. He then didn't lose for another, well, from his pro debut, it was like 20 years until he fought Bruno. 1987, he fought Bruno, lost a quite a competitive fight. A lot of people would have seen that, because obviously Bruno's a bit more of an up-to-date fighter, and if people look at that and think that was what the real Joe Bugner was about, they'd be very mistaken. We're talking a fighter 20 years into his career, probably 70 fights in, 75 fights in. And then his last loss came to Scott Welch. And that was in
Right with my dad.
that was in 1996, lads. 30 years, 29 years from him making his pro debut, which it's staggering.
Was in Germany, that, I think.
Was it?
I think so. I think it was the same night as a big, might have been Bruno Tyson too.
Right.
Might have been. I think Naz were on that night as well in England.
Crazy figures, lads, and figures that you would never see in modern boxing. He became British, Commonwealth, and European champion, beating Henry Cooper in 1971. And the list of fighters he's been in with is staggering. So let me just run through a few of them. Rudy Lubbers, Muhammad Ali twice. He went the distance twice with Muhammad Ali. He went the distance with Joe Frazier. He went the distance with Ron Lyle. He fought Jimmy Ellis. He fought Brian London, Mike Weaver, Ernie Shavers, and obviously James Tillis, Frank Bruno. The list goes on and on and on and on. staggering that his career lasted for 3 decades. I mean, modern day boxers don't do 10 years, and they certainly don't do 83 fights. So that's just a little bit of a breakdown. I hope I've done that justice. But the questions I'm going to come to you with, and I'll come to you first, Brett, with this first question, and then we'll go round. We'll do a round robin. In your opinion, and you've said off camera, you don't know massive history of Joe Bugner, and that's fine, mate. A lot of people don't. So, but on your scale of all-time British heavyweights, where do you think Joe Bugner sits?
Well, listen, mate, I tell you what, from that intro, what I will be doing is, especially with the missus being away and getting the remote back, I'll be going on YouTube and having a look at some of those fights and looking at them back and re-educating myself as to how good he was. The honesty, mate, is going in with names like that. You've got to put him very, very highly ranked amongst the British, haven't you? You've got to put him up there simply because you're going the distance with Ali twice. And Frazier, and then also, like I say, we're laughing about it, but even going in there with the great Ernie Shavers and fighters like that. The one bit of history that I do have on him, though, is I think Matchroom took the gamble, didn't they? And that's how they launched into boxing, was paying him a load of money to fight Bruno. And I remember seeing something from the Hearns talking about how I think they offered him £1 million, and it was what year was that fight, Andy?
19. Hold on a minute. I've got it written down. Let me just look. Hold on 1 sec.
But anyway, it's way back, and £1 million was a lot of money. And I remember seeing the documentary
87, mate,
or the pre-fight build-up. Yeah, £1 million, and Hearn with Barry was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. I don't know. He had no idea about ticket sales. He had no idea about nothing. And look at what Matchroom's gone on for that gamble to go into it. But ultimately, mate, based off the names that you just said, I do remember a couple of his fights. The answer would be I'd rank him very highly. I did a little bit of research looking into it. And one of the things that came up was that he would have been even better if he pulled the trigger a little bit earlier. And so, like I say, can't really give you a full answer, mate, but from what I do know and those names, you've got to rank him very high.
Okay, I'm not going to push you too much on it, because I've dropped this question on you just now. So I've done a little bit of research. I've got a top 5, and I've gotten quite highly in that top 5, but I'll give mine a bit later on. Chris, I'll come to you, mate. I don't know if you're okay giving a top 5 or.
I'd have to really think about a top 5, like British heavyweights, because there's quite a lot. But Joe Bugner, I don't really know too much about him, to be honest. Obviously, this is a random one, so I didn't even know any of the topics before I came on. But I do remember
apologise on that.
Watching him fight Welch, and my dad telling me, because I was like 11, going, "Oh, Joe Bugner." And obviously, my dad would know all the history, and he was telling me about Joe Bugner, saying this guy used to be a great fighter and all that. But wasn't he like Hungarian or something like that? Like
he was born somewhere like that, I believe.
He had like a dual nationality.
Yeah.
But so. But if I had to answer now, I'd probably say no, not in my top 5 heavyweights. But I've not watched the fights, but just of like his achievements, I can think of more heavyweights that have been world champions and achieved more. But obviously I don't know the full ins and outs of his era when he was in his prime, who was around, obviously, for Ali. Maybe there was too many killers, and if he was in a different era, he might have done well and won some world titles. But I can't really say too much. So I've not seen all his fights. I'm just going off what I remember him being like a good fighter back in the day, but like a nearly a world champion, nearly one of them.
The two fights with Ali, one was a 15-rounder, one was a 12-rounder.
And then late in Ali's career as well. Like it wasn't prime Ali. He was like after he fought George Foreman, weren't it?
It was the first one was early 70s, mate.
What was it, after Foreman or before?
I don't know without looking at Ali's career, but I know
that's what I mean. Because after Foreman, I think Ali was kind of like quite on the slide, and then Then he ended up losing
I think
to
I think the first fight. I think the first fight was off the top of my head, and I might be wrong here. I think the first fight was 72, and the second one might have been 75, 76, something like that. But he fought Ali straight away after he fought Ali. He fought Joe Frazier. Again, went the distance. Not long after that, I fought Ron Lyle.
That's what I mean. He didn't win any of them, though, did he? That's the thing. And like that. That's
but we're talking about in Ali and Frazier and Lyle, mate. We're talking about 3 fighters there that you might put in your top. Definitely with Ali and Joe Frazier, you're talking top 10, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. But the only thing is, you can say that. That's why it's so hard comparing eras.
It is hard, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you can say, all right, let's stick him in now era, and then everyone will say, yeah, he'll do everyone. But we don't.
Well, that's going to be the next question. So
we can't actually say that for a fact. Do you know what I mean?
No, but you can give your opinion, and that's what this channel's all about, mate.
He never won anything apart from European.
Yeah, well,
to me, it sounds like his career's like a Derek Chisora of now time. Always gave his best, always tried hardest, but fought the best around, fought everyone, but didn't quite win. That's what his career sounds like to me. Like he's like the Chisora of back then, if you get what I'm saying.
Mate, I think obviously it's our opinion.
I have done the research, so I need to.
I think that's really harsh. I think that's really harsh.
That's what I feel about it.
Yeah, and that's
he's not won anything like apart from European, Commonwealth.
Chris, that's what this channel's all about, pal. It's all about opinions. I'll come to the historian on the show. Daz knows
about that.
Yeah, you are. Daz knows everything about everything in boxing. Yeah. So, Daz, let's hear what you have to say about the first question. Where does Joe Bugner sit in all-time British heavyweights, in your opinion?
Ranking him just as a British heavyweight.
Yeah.
So not gonna put I mean, you've got to take his opponents into account, really. But against, likes of Lennox, Fitzsimmons, Herbie Hyde, all them guys, I'm not going to put Moses Itaú in it because he's still young. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk more, I'm going to put more establish your Gary Masons, all them guys, Furies, Akiwandes, all them. He's got to be up there because Chris touched on it earlier. It was in an era of absolute monsters, and the depth of that I don't think we'll probably see again. Mm-hmm. There were some absolute killers.
Yeah.
So as a British heavyweight, I mean, he was very. I think he was sometimes accused of being not aggressive enough. He's quite a big guy. He was a bit of a counter puncher, quite skillful. I think there's an argument, mate, for him being third behind Lennox, Fitzsimmons. But, so, I mean, would he be... I think you have to ask yourself. I mean, I don't think he'd have beat Lennox. Fitzsimmons is an odd one because he was way back when. Would he be Herbie Hyde? Would he be Gary Mason? Would he be Emre Akinwande? Would he be Frank Bruno when he was at his best? Possibly. So we've got to rank him higher.
Yeah. He gave Bruno a good go 20 years into his career, didn't he? So that probably tells you a little bit about levels of where you can kind of put him. If he'd have been fighting Bruno when he was in his prime in the 70s, you'd have seen a different outcome to that fight, maybe. And I rate Bruno quite highly. I think he gets a bit of a bad rep when it comes to like top 10, top 5, top 10 kind of positioning in UK fighters. I'm a very similar opinion to you, Daz. I rate him quite highly because of the level of opponent he's been in with. I get what Chris is saying. If you just go on what he's won, he only won up to European level, but that's in an era of killers, like you just said. I put him quite high. I put him quite high up there. I've got Bob Fitzsimmons second on my list as well. Now, there's a lot of controversy with that because was he an heavyweight? Really? Was he a light heavyweight? Was he a middleweight? Because he won belts in 3 divisions: middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. The thing with Bob Fitzsimmons is he was obviously wasn't the stature of your modern heavyweight either. So if you was going to try and compare, would Bob Fitzsimmons beat a prime Lennox Lewis? Would he beat a prime Tyson Fury? Would he beat a prime Joe Bugner? You're talking about a massive height difference in them fighters. So you have to take them as their prime, how good they were in their prime. That's the way I look at it anyway. And Bob Fitzsimmons, still to this day, I think, comments in the sidebar, comments afterwards, if I'm wrong here, I believe Bob Fitzsimmons is still the only fighter to go win a middleweight title, go up to heavyweight, win a heavyweight title, and then come back down and win a light heavyweight title. And I believe went back up again and won the heavyweight title after that. I believe he's the only fighter still to have done that. That's history in itself, so that's got to be taken into account. I thought it's really good because I thought we'd get some varied opinions on here, but that's what it's all about, right? Boxing's all about opinions.
Of course it is. A bit of trivia, sorry, Chris. A bit of trivia for you in case it comes up in a quiz as well for you. He fought 2 guys Bugner did. He fought 2 guys who were quite interested. He fought a kid called Jack O'Halloran, who, if you guys have seen Superman 2, he actually played one of General Zod's henchmen. It was the one that didn't speak.
Yeah, the one with the beard.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
One with the beard.
Yeah. And then he also fought a kid called Alberto Lovell, who actually played Spider Rico in the Rocky.
Spider Rico, what, in the original, the first one? Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was actually a professional heavyweight.
Yeah, they used to have 2 jobs back in them days, didn't they?
Yeah.
Boxing wasn't their own. Well, I just want to say, what I meant is so on the eye test, watching them fight in their prime, do you think Bugner can beat someone? And then to say who's the best of British, what they actually achieved, how many world titles they won, how many times they unified, how many times they retained it, or what, that's 2 different things, because they might have had a weak era and someone might have been a world. Like Scott Welch, he's a heavyweight, but he only held the WBO. And I think at the time, the WBO wasn't really regarded as a great, it was kind of like the IBO. Like, people didn't really, So there's all these things to take. That's why it's so hard. So I think if you're asking, would he beat him in a fight, 9 times out of 10, or who's achieved more in boxing, it's 2 different questions.
Yeah. It is a difficult question, and it's a little bit vague, isn't it? It's a little bit grey area.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be a decent little topic for us to go on. And again, this is going to be a bit of a grey area, and you pick 'em kind of question, and that is if Joe Bugner was in his prime, but in this era, if he was at his best, but lifted out of the 70s, put into this era, who would he beat in the heavyweights, current British heavyweights? So we're talking the big names. We're talking AJ. We're talking Fury. We're talking Daniel Dubois, Chisora, Dillian White in his prime. Guys from this era. If Joe Bugner was put into this era, and I'll come to you first, Daz, who does he beat and who does he not beat?
I mean, he never really fought anybody, a lot bigger than him, a lot taller than him. So that's hard, quite hard to judge, because Fury, Fury's massive. He probably beats everyone. Oh, he's capable of beating everyone, I should say. He's got different problems with different fighters, obviously, but I think he's in with a shot of beating all of them. Yeah, it's hard to say that he would have definitely beat so and so, But at his best and at their best, I think he'd have had a shot at beating all of them, to be honest.
I think most people will acknowledge that this era is not as strong as eras gone by. It's not as, in my opinion anyway, it's not as strong as the 90s. It's not as strong as the 70s. You can argue it's maybe not quite as strong as the 80s, but there wasn't as many killers in the 80s as the 90s or the 70s. So, Chris, come to you, mate. Same question.
I hate to do this, but I can't answer it because I haven't watched any of his fights recently. What I will say is about the era, I think, like, it's not as strong because it takes about 2 years for the fucking top guys to fight each other.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
In the day, there was like 2 belts. Well, there was only 1, and then there was 2, then there was 3, and everyone's fighting each other regular. Now, obviously, the Saudis have come in and like saved the day, started splashing the cash. But before them, it's taken like 2 years to unify or undispute. So we didn't know who was the best, and that's why it's like it is now. And why the generation's weak because they're taking so long to figure out who's the best. Like, look at Usyk; he's about to retire, and he's only just figured out that he's number 1 after beating everyone, and he's nearly 40. When he should have, if the fights got made sooner, we would have known this about 3 years ago, and then other people could start trying to challenge Usyk in his prime. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, good point, mate. Good point. Brett?
Yeah, the only thing, again, with the research, the natural heavyweight of now is a big heavyweight, right? Weight-wise. Doing the research, Bugner used to weigh in around anywhere between 225 and 230. When you're talking that Fury's weighing into 280, Joshua comfortably sits at 240, 250. It'd be interesting when everyone's in their prime. It'd be interesting, but like I say, same answer as Chris, really, mate. I apologize that I'm not up to date on it, but I will be because I'm going to go back and watch some of these fights.
No, mate, completely understood. Comments in the comment box below. If you're watching this afterwards, let us know your top 5 British heavyweights of all time, and let us know who you think Joe Bugner would have beat in this era. I think it's quite an open topic, and like you're going to get loads of different answers, aren't you? You're going to get people like Daz and me that saw some of it, watched a lot of it back, and then you're going to get youngsters that are just coming into boxing that only know the Tyson Furies and the Anthony Joshuas of this world, and probably haven't seen anything further back than Bruno. And they're gonna obviously pick the guys from the modern era, which is fine. Okay. Just to sum up then, I mean, we're talking an absolute British great that probably hasn't been given the credit for being. He spent a lot of his career in Australia, a lot of his time in Australia, sorry, mate.
Because I was thinking he was always in Australia. I for some reason I had in my head that he was half Australian because he was always there. That's why.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time there. I think he lived there, didn't he, for a long while? And is what it is, mate. People do it, and people will argue the same thing about Bob Fitzsimmons. You'll get people that say, well, he wasn't really a British fighter because he fought loads in Australia, he fought loads in America, and
or Lennox Lewis is Canadian, he's not British.
But Lennox Lewis is Canadian, blah, 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 blah.
Let's kick him out straight away. It can be like that. Or
mate, you need to be
he's Nigerian because he's born there.
You need to be careful what you say on this channel about AJ being Australian. Carl will kick you off. But sorry, AJ being Canadian, Carl will kick you off.
Lennox being Canadian.
Lennox.
Yeah, but he is Canadian though. but Canadian don't love boxing like the UK, so he's like.
He was born in England though, so we'll.
I live here. I live in Canada, mate, and they ain't claiming Lennox. Lennox is British. Lennox is British to the core. Fuck that.
I told you, Carl, kick him off, didn't I? Right. Okay. I told you, Chris. I told you. Okay. Next topic, lads. It's obviously the rumor going around. Joe Parker's going to be fighting Fabio Wardley. I don't know about you guys. I really feel for Joe Parker. I think he's being treated a little bit badly here. I'm not convinced. This might be controversial.
Don't say it. Don't say
I'm
it.
not. I'm going to say it, mate. I'm not convinced Usyk's injured.
Ooh.
I'm not convinced he's injured. I'm not, mate.
Weren't it? It's the dancing.
Yes, the dancing, yeah.
You're not saying. Please tell me you're not saying Usyk's ducking someone.
Mate, the problem you've got, right? The problem you've got is it the WBO that Joe Parker's mandatory for?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
They're forcing the situation, and Usyk. I mean, let's have it right. He's done everything he's needed to do in this era.
Yeah.
Beat Fury twice, whether you agree with it or not. Beat AJ twice, again, whether you agree with it or not. And they're the two guys that were very vying for number one spot, right? Who's the best? So he's come up from cruiserweight and he's just walked past everybody. Really, realistically, Joe Parker's all that's left. Mm-hmm. And I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Joe Parker at the minute because I think he deserves his shot. You know, he's come through quite a difficult time in his career. It's clicked with Andy Lee, and now he looks like a great fighter again. I think it's a bit of a shame if he has to then go and fight Fabio Wardley, because Fabio Wardley's not on his level, I'm afraid.
Definitely.
But right, I'll come to you first, Chris. What's your feelings on this fight if it happens?
Well, I like you. I feel sorry for Joseph Parker, but like Usyk, I just don't know why he can't just say, "Look, I'm injured, but I ain't gonna fight Joseph Parker anyway," because Turki Al-Sheikh said he don't want to pay for that fight. So have that belt, you and whoever fight for it, and then I'll fight whoever Turki Al-Sheikh tells me to fight next, whoever he's going to pay me the most money for, instead of being selfish and just holding on to the belt and saying, when I'm not injured, I'll tell you what I'm doing. That's not right. It should be, when I'm free, I'm fighting JP next because he's next in line. Like, he's being a bit cuntish to me. As much as I'm a big Usyk fan, I don't think that's right. Everyone's got to be held accountable. The same standards as we hold anybody. You can't just give someone a break just because they've done great things. And I think it's not a good fight for Fabio Wardley because, like, he needs to fight. He needs to fight a boxer, someone who get used to fighting boxers because he hasn't got that amateur pedigree and moving around the ring. He's just done 12 rounds, got the knockout at the end, but he needs to win a fight where he's going rounds and get some experience fighting boxers because he just showed, wow, this is not that he is a white collar boxer or whatever in that last fight. And for Parker, this is it's an okay fight because of the inactivity, but when you've been inactive, you don't want to be going in with a dangerous puncher who can one-bomb you anytime in the fight. So I don't think it's a great fight for him either because he's been inactive. He'll be as good as he is. He'll have a bit of ring rust. So if there's ever a time for Fabio to beat Parker, it would be now because of Parker's inactivity. But I still don't think that he's good enough to beat him, even this inactive. But I just feel bad for him. And I just don't think it'll be a good fight, hopefully, but I just don't think it's a good fight for their careers, either man. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay. I'll come to you now, Brett. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we saw Fabio Wardley's frailties last time out against Justice Honey. He got outboxed for almost every round. And then he's got that lightning in his right hand. He's got the lightning in his left hand even. But does that warrant him getting a shot at Joe Parker, who's number one contender for the world title?
I mean, boxing's in a strange place, isn't it? You can't rule any matchups out at the minute. But what I will say is I've got the ump for Joseph Parker, and I said it way back. I know Dubois. Carl, don't start taking me off the screen either. But I know Dubois starched AJ. But I've always had my doubts about Daniel Dubois. And when he pulled out the week of fight week with Parker would have exposed Dubois. And Parker would have, after coming off him knocking AJ Spark out, and then Dubois was going to go get schooled by Parker. that would have put Joseph Parker into a very, very, very big position and a massive player in the sport where people couldn't ignore him. Usyk wouldn't have been able to ignore him, but he got that opportunity robbed from him. And for whatever reason, the pull out of the week, we all know it was to do with the money. But anyway, regardless, the Wardley thing, I mean, he's a fan-friendly fight, but he's domestic for me. Like he's not proved to me that he's of world-class level, but he can put your lights out if you put your hands by your side, or if you throw a lazy jab. If you throw a lazy jab and he slips and throws that hook, or he can put anybody out. But any of these heavyweights can't they? If you get caught lacking, and the game plan was exposed for Wardley in Fraser Clark fight 1, right? He got exposed there a little bit, and then obviously in the rematch, Fraser Clark got caught early in the fight, and bang, that's history, that one. And then in his last time out, I think he got a little bit exposed. So, if Parker hasn't got anybody else that will take him on, take this fight. It'll pay well. It'll do good numbers. It'll do good figures. Get him paid. He's not his career. He's knocking on a little bit now. He needs to. It's going away from him. If Usyk's not going to fight him, then why not fight Wardley? But for me, he beats him quite comfortably.
Guys, it's tricky for Parker, this, because I think Brett's just hit the nail on the head. He needs to stay active. Is he really going to risk that number 1 spot against a number 2 or a number 3, for example? Is he really going to do that or is he going to sit and wait for that belt to become vacant? Because I agree completely with Chris. I don't think he ever gets a shot at Usyk. I don't think it happens. He's going to wait until they get stripped, and then he gets his shot against probably number 2 or number 3 on the thing.
Moses is number 1 for the WBO.
Moses is number 1.
So if he vacates the belt, Parker will be elevated to champ, and Moses will be the mandatory.
Right. Okay. So, that's interesting. That's an interesting fight straight away there. Because in my
now then, if that instead of Wardley,
but the problem with that is then Joe loses his mandatory spot, don't he? And that's what I'm saying. He's probably not going to want to risk that.
Yeah.
You have got this very slight possibility that Fabio Wardley catches him, like Chris said. He's got a bomb, and he can put anybody out at any point in the fight. You've seen that against Justice Sunday. It looked like he was completely done. Looked like he was completely out of the fight. The fight was, in fact, it was a bit, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to Fabio Wardley, but the fight was easy for Justice Sunday. It was easy. It was an easy night's work.
I think that's why he got caught, because I think it was so easy that he was getting relaxed and thinking, I'm going to knock this. It was so easy that he switched off. And Fabio Wardley, obviously, perfect, head off the line, just slipped the shot, came back with his own, boom. And it was perfect punch, everything, feet right, distance, everything was perfect. And I just think he switched off Hooney because it was too easy.
Probably so, mate. And like I say, this is not a disrespect or slight on Fabio Wardley, because we're talking about a guy that's learning at the top end of the boxing world with no amateur pedigree at all. He's learning in the ring, and he's gonna get outboxed by boxers, by fighters that had great amateur pedigree for and it just can't be helped. It's one of them, and he's probably, the same thing's probably going to happen against Joe Parker. He's going to get outboxed. But Daz, I'll come to you, mate. Firstly, do you want to see the fight, and then what danger is there for either fighter in it?
There's better fights that could be made, obviously. Better fights for each man's career. I think if it happens, I think the only shot Fabio's got to win in is to land an absolute bomb. If he doesn't, he's going to get seriously outboxed, seriously punched up. I think, like the guys have said, I think Joe Parker deserves better. Listen, I'd like to think that boxers of Usyk's caliber wouldn't want to avoid people, but it's a little bit just make the fight. I mean, Joe Parker wants it. If Usyk's the man that we all think he is, the fighter we think he is of this era, make the fight. Joe, there's no one more deserving of a shot at that undisputed than Joseph Parker at minute.
Yeah, sure.
I can't make a case for anybody. I mean, we're sort of going into Dillian White territory from a few years back, aren't we? Where he did everything asked of him and just didn't get a look in.
Usyk's not taking any fight that don't give him a load of.
No, of course he's not.
Like he's what he's doing. I'm telling you right now. They may because Turkey's trying to rush him too much. They may throw loads and loads of money at the Moses fight. They may and throw Moses to the wolves, or Usyk's going to sit there for a little bit here, and he's going to actually see if Fury and AJ get it on, and then take astronomical money for the third fight against them. I can't see him taking. He's not going to take on someone that's hungry like Parker. He just isn't. There's no commercial value to it.
I don't think he's doesn't want to fight Parker. I think this is the only reason, because Turki Al-Sheikh already said, I don't want to see that fight. I'm not paying for it. And who's been paying Usyk for his last fights, apart from obviously the one at Wembley, but that smashed it because obviously the Brits love boxing. So he doesn't want to fight for less than whatever he's been getting paid, 50, 100 million. That's why I said he's being selfish. Vacate the belt then. Because everyone, we know he's number one. He don't need that belt. Just let whoever fight for it. But don't just be honest and say, I want whoever Turki Al-Sheikh wants me to fight for the most money. That's who I'm fighting next. So A.R. Parker, have the strap. Maybe I'll be undisputed 3 times and fight you again after whatever. Do you know what I mean? You don't know.
So what does Turkey actually want then? Who does he want Usyk to fight?
He wants the Moses fight. That's what he wants.
They're trying to rush him. He's trying to rush him, and this is where Turkey. I mean, I've stuck up for Turkey a lot on loads of these shows because he's brought us fights that we want to see. But they're not giving Moses time. Turkey's not giving him time. And at the end of the day, Moses ain't going to say no to astronomical figures.
Look what happened to Anderson.
And he's going to go
exactly
in there.
The same thing with Anderson. Here's loads of money. Fight Bacoli. Michael Hunter beat him. We all knew that Bacoli was going to knock him out. Like he weren't ready. Yep. He weren't ready to fight Bacoli. Well, I knew, and I picked him straight. I couldn't believe that they made. I thought it was a stupid fight when they made it. Anderson Bacoli. I thought, wow, this is not
crazy. And the exact same, Chris, for Moses and Usyk. It's Moses is an extreme talent. Don't get me wrong. Probably beats most British heavyweights right now. But the problem you've got is he still hasn't been tested.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a gut check. He hasn't had a chin check. Now, he might go his whole career not getting a chin check. It might be that good.
That's his plan, he said. That's his plan.
Exactly. But the problem is you're still going to, at some point, you're going to come up against somebody that has better ring craft, that has better experience, that doesn't walk onto his shot, that lasts a bit longer. And that's where the gut check comes in because it's not going to be a 3 or 4 round demolition, a 1 round demolition. He's going to go 7 or 8 rounds. What's he going to be like in 7 or 8 rounds? Is he still going to have the same power and the same accuracy and the same sharpness after 7 or 8 rounds?
Yeah.
All questions that we haven't answered. All questions no one has answered. Yeah, it's probably been answered in sparring, but who's been able to see that?
Yeah.
Well,
finger sparring.
I think. Personally, with Moses, the handled right, he could probably go down as maybe second best heavyweight ever. He'll have to go some to go in front of Lennox, but listen, it can be in conversation. Handled right, without a doubt. And listen, if the kid can take a punch as well with 10 ounce gloves on, he's going to take some beating.
Have you lot come onto, Daz? You might have come onto it. Have you come onto the sparring stories that I know he's wobbled a lot, but apparently he's actually at some shots.
I've heard a lot.
And I know
I've heard a lot.
I've
heard a lot of stories about him. I've heard bad stories, and I've heard absolutely exceptional stories.
So Did you hear the one about the camp for the Dylan White fight? He got dropped twice in camp. Did you hear that one? Who said? Jarrell Miller, Shannon Briggs, both said that on the grapevine that he got dropped. And it's live, isn't it? Well, I can't say how, because he lives in my town, Moses Atoma, and I'm very close with people that he spars with, that he train with. Go down and interview some of the fighters at Ropes and Glory, the gym that he started with, and he was so pissed off that happened to him in sparring. Like, he was really, really angry because he got put down, but that's his mentality. Like, obviously, it happened in sparring, and it's in sparring, and it's not happened in the ring. But I can say that definitely did happen.
Do you know what though?
Like,
I take it as this. You know, if like someone like Moses has been dropped in sparring, I don't look at that. I'll always look at what he did, and if he got up.
Oh yeah, they said.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If he got up and just carried on, that's what you take from it.
Like he has like a temper tantrum, like mental, like going mad, like he got dropped.
That's good.
And he gets up and carries on. Like that's what said. Like, really, just to get knocked down once or clipped, he hates it. Like
that's good. I like to hear that. That makes me. I mean, there's some stories I've heard that, you know, I'm not going to repeat them. There's some stories that were fantastic as well.
Yeah.
That, you know, people were there. Listen, we can all take stuff out of sparring, good or bad. It's what happens under them lights that counts.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of great fighters are absolutely terrible in camp and in sparring, probably 3 week up to taper down time.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of fighters spar a week, up to a week before fight. A lot of fighters only spar up 2 weeks before fight. But there's a lot of fighters who are brilliant fighters who are absolutely terrible leading up to the last couple of spars, and that's when they peak. So if he I wouldn't be bothered if he got dropped every spar. If he produces what he produces under them lights, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But fighters use sparring for different things, right, Daz? So
Yeah,
some fighters will use sparring. Some fighters will use sparring to get sharp. Some fighters will use sparring for fitness. Some fighters will go in and barely throw shots, but they'll use it. They'll use it to weather the body. They'll use it to get ready for the shots they're going to take fight night, which is crazy, but it happens. And then you've got some fighters that don't spar at all.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got some big fighters that don't spar at all.
I mean, that's a little bit nuts. That one.
It is nuts. Yeah.
Listen, I've known people like spar, not so much with people who are on the same level as them. People probably a bit lower, you know, like a good amateur. And they'll say, you know, I can only hit you to body, but you can hit me open. And they do that because when you're throwing a body shot, it's so easy to leave yourself open for an head shot. So that, you know, people do that to practice, you know, working the body and still being tight upstairs. Yeah. So it's all a classroom, isn't it? You know,
it is, mate. And these stories that you get, these stories that you get in of these sparring stories, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt.
For sure.
Of course you have.
Because it don't matter, does it? What happens in them 8, 10, 12 weeks before the guy steps through the ropes, fight night, under the lights? It doesn't matter. All that matters is what happens when that bell rings.
Yeah, it counts when you're under lights. I mean, you know, there's endless. I mean, listen, we'll go to the fight that we all went to, Lee Wood v. Kakache. By all accounts, Lee Wood was looking amazing in training. In sparring, he was looking amazing. And he just, you know, I'm not going to detract from Kakache's performance, but he didn't seem to have it fight night. You know, do you know what I mean? It was, there was probably a little bit half a step slower, half a second punch slower. You know, he just didn't seem. Listen, I'm not going to take away from Kakache because Kakache was really good that night.
Yeah.
But you know, with the inactivity that Lee had as well, he looked, by all accounts, he looked fantastic in sparring, but when you get in there, that's when it counts.
He weren't match fit in the gym, but not match fit of used to fighting regular. It's totally different.
Well, that's the same with Dylan White coming into this last fight with him. Everyone's commenting, never seen him look so good, never seen him train like this. His diet's on point. Moses after minutes, I don't care what you look like, you're having some of this.
And do you know when everyone
was written? Listen, lads, I'm really sorry to do this. I've only got an hour. I only had an hour tonight, lads. But I've got a meeting after this. So
no worries, it's all good, mate. Sorry, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it, right?
Cheers with that.
See you later, mate.
See you later, boys. Bye.
Okay, let's use that point to move on to the next topic, boys. This one is a bit strange for me, and I don't really understand it. I'm hoping that you two might be able to either shed a bit of a light or give your opinions, and that is the situation where Matchroom have just lost a purse bid for Dalton Smith's world title fight. They've lost this purse bid by all accounts by less than 100 grand, and so Dalton Smith's now got to go to Puerto Rico, does?
Yes, mate. I believe so.
So what I don't get on this, lads, and try and explain it for me, because I can't wrap my head around it. For the last 3 years, or maybe even longer, Eddie Hearn has been putting Dalton Smith right up there on a pedestal. He's like their golden boy now, or he was like their golden boy. The fact that they haven't been bothered to win this purse bid clearly makes me think they don't see him as the golden boy anymore, and that probably isn't the case. They probably still do, but if that is the case, why have they not won this purse bid clearly? I'll come to you, Chris, first.
I just think, like, Matchroom, like, the hunger's not there, like it used to be. So if it's an iffy one, if he's going to make money on it, he's like, this is what I'm bidding. Any more than that, and I'm losing money, so forget it. And I'm happy for my fighters to fight on other shows because I'm not going to hold up their career. But it's not like back in the day where he just keep winning purse bids no matter what, just because he wanted to stick his fingers up to Frank Warren and say, I won the purse bid this time. He's not in that now. Like I think he's just nicely making his money, and he won't take them risks no more. He won't do it. The only person he'll do it for is like maybe American fighters like Boots Ennis. It's Matchroom USA now. He's forgot about the UK. And to be fair, like, he's got no heavyweights left. Like, who's he got? Nobody really. That's decent. So.
Exactly. But even more of a reason why you've got this kid that looks like he's going all the way in Dalton Smith.
Well, I don't think he believes. Like, he's a good fighter, but he's not like super, because he's about money, and Dalton Smith ain't gonna make him loads of money if he overpays on purse bids. Like, he's not gonna get the return, so he's not gonna do it. You know, even to build him up for longevity, Eddie Hearn's like thinking small time. Like, is this gonna make money? No. If I spend this on if I spend more on a purse bid, I'm gonna lose money, so I ain't doing it, and that's it. And I think that's how Eddie Hearn's running now. If you look at all his fighters, he's lost quite a few purse bids, quite a lot. He's not really like, and back in the day, he was winning them all the time. Like, am I being
too simplistic here, Daz? Could Eddie Hearn have not just had a conversation with Turkey Al Sheikh and gone, I need Dalton Smith to be the own fighter. Can we not put this on a big fight? Can we not make this a Wembley fight or a massive outdoor football ground in Sheffield? Can we not do this under the Riyadh banner and you pay for the purse bid?
Yeah, of course you could. I mean,
so why hasn't he done it?
I mean, do you think? I mean, like apparently, Matchroom bid 1.75 million, and Fresh Promotions, I think they're called, they won it with 1.9 million. So you're talking, 150 grand. I mean, they could probably write that off in tax.
Staggering.
Probably write more than that off in tax, to be fair.
Take his watch off and fucking say, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I look at Matchroom at minute, and And the only fighter that they've got really, really active is Sky Nicholson. I think she's fought more than anyone. You know, I mean, she's fought 2 dinner ladies in her past 2 fights, but she's more active than anybody. And you know, I think we all know why that is. But yeah, it just baffles me, to be fair. Does he really believe in Dalton? No. I mean, listen, I've heard, again, it's rumour machine, boxing rumour machine. Some people have said that Dalton can't sell the tickets what people think he can. Whereas other people...
I don't believe that, does.
You what, mate?
I don't believe that. He sells Sheffield Arena out.
But does he sell it out on his own, though?
Yeah, of course he does. He's the only big name in Sheffield right now.
But
yeah, possibly.
That doesn't bring lots of revenue. It's about pay-per-view. How many people are going to pay money to watch him fight from home, where the pay-per-views are going up to 30 quid now? I don't think anyone.
Yeah.
And he's got these fire sticks. Let's be real. And he's a British fighter. So it has to have the right dance partner, like Daz said. He can't just fight any muppet at Sheffield and get big money, and they're going to earn big money out of it.
I am very surprised it didn't land on a Riyadh season, though. I'm very surprised that Eddie didn't have a word with Turkey and Shape, because Dalton is one of his golden boys, isn't it? Let's be honest.
There's the other thing, though, with Dalton, where will he bring in big numbers TV-wise? Because he don't talk rubbish, does he? You know, he's not one calling everyone.
Fighter, though, doesn't he? He's good to watch in the ring, though, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is, yeah. But as you've said yourself, Carl, it's not all about that, is it?
It's about a Wonga, mate.
With the Riyadh season, though, they're not that concerned about TV viewers, are they? So he could have landed on there.
But I mean, Matthias, Subriel Matthias, I think that's who's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people know who he is, will they?
No.
You know, so
But this is all part. But the problem is, this is all part of the journey, all part of the narrative. Maybe this world title fight, is not a massive name, but he's going to get to them massive names. You know, once he's got a belt, he's going to get to them massive names. So surely you've got to pay out now for the future.
Adam Azim's the obvious one, isn't it? That will be a big fight.
Adam Azim don't want to fight him. He don't want no smoke with him at all.
When the green and gold belt's on the line, though.
So here's the thing, right? I was going to bring this up.
Pay-per-view fight. If he wins the world title and fights Adam Azim, that will sell out.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view, that will.
I was going to bring this up. I was going to bring this up, lads. Matchroom have tried to make Adam Azim look like a bit of a mug. Right, like promoters do, right? They back Dalton Smith. They've tried to call out Adam Azim and his promotion team and his management team. And you can read this 2 ways, right? You can read it that Dalton Smith that Adam Azim don't want any smoke, like you've just said, Chris, from Dalton Smith. Or you can read it that Adam Azim's team realise Adam's still progressing. They realise Dalton Smith's a little bit in front of him right now, and they're waiting for the right opportunity at the right time. That's smart.
That's ducking, though. Like it's a nice way of saying.
Is it, or is it being smart?
No, it's being smart, but it's ducking a fight, because
I think the way
how can you, if you're a champion, you can't win a belt and then fight a mandatory. Was it the Commonwealth or whatever? Oh, this mandatory is a bit too hard, so I'll vacate this one, or whatever the situation. You can't do that. It's either you have the belt and you defend it, or you don't. And if you don't defend it because you don't want to fight him, it's duck.
Chris, I think Adam Azim's team are waiting to get Dalton Smith at the right time.
What's that?
Yeah, but it's still avoiding the fight. It doesn't. That's all well and good, but it's still ducking the fight.
Yeah,
but the point I was going to make, right? The point I was going to make is this: Matchroom do all that, right? They try and embarrass Adam Azim into fighting Dalton Smith for the European.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
It was his mandatory.
Right? Okay, I get that.
It was a mandatory, so they said fight us or vacate. And he vacated.
I get it, right? So he vacated, right? I get it, right? Because they're playing the long game, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from both sides. But what the point I'm trying to make is, Matchroom spend all that time trying to embarrass Adam Azim into making the fight. To me, that means they're really fully invested in Dalton Smith up until now.
Well, it was more
Why?
boxers. It was more boxers looking to embarrass, really, wasn't it? It was more aim at Ben Shalom and their promotion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. The question is still the same. They're doing it because they believe Dalton Smith is the best, right? They're doing it because they believe he beats Adam Azim, which right now he probably does. Okay, but they're doing it because they believe that Dalton Smith is that next big star, the next massive star from Sheffield, the next massive star in the UK. Well, if they believe he's that big massive star, why have they not gone all out with this purse bid? It's just to me, the narrative's completely changed with the Matchroom. You've already pointed it out, Chris.
Yeah, it's all about money. Like, I don't think that they thought he's going to be the next big star. I think they think he's good, but they don't believe in him that much. And I think the only reason why they were doing that with the Adam Azim fight is have a dig at Ben Shalom, because obviously try and make him take the fight because it's his mandatory and he's vacated. But the main thing is that fight will do big money because they're both hot British prospects. They both got their towns behind them. So, like I said before, it's all about money. Even though it's that fight would make more money than whoever, either one of them are going to fight separately. Yeah. It's going to make more money. It's going to make. That's why Eddie Hearn's pushing it for that fight because that's going to make loads of money.
We could be reading into this a bit more than we need to. It could just simply be a miscalculation from Matchroom where they didn't think the other promotional company would stump up as much as they did.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could be reading into it a little bit too much. But then
again, you got a point there, mate.
Like you say, if they want to back him, you'd blow the other promotional company out of the water, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, all that being said, does Dalton Smith get a fair shake when he goes to Puerto Rico? Yes.
No.
Can't see it. If it's remotely close, it's not going to be remotely close. If you get what I mean. Yeah. Any doubt in them rounds? I believe Matthias can punch a little bit as well. I mean, I'm a bit guilty of not really seeing much of him.
It's quite an exciting fighter.
Yeah, it would have been a tough fight in the UK, never mind going abroad.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton's a really good fighter, really good. But, he's not, I know he's stepped up some levels, but he's not really shown that he's going to, win a world title easy, if you get what I mean. There is, there's little things there. So, yeah, I totally agree with Carl. It'd have been a tough fight over here. So over there, it could be.
And let's be honest, Daz, we're as guilty with some of our judging decisions, aren't we? So it's not just a them thing, is it? It's not just an abroad thing.
No, it's not, mate. It's not just a Puerto Rico thing. It's not just a France thing. It's not just a Germany thing.
It's a home thing.
It is, yeah. You get it is. It's a home thing, yeah, 1,000,000%.
That's why you got to win them purse bids.
That's why you got to win the purse bids. Exactly right, mate.
Yeah,
exactly right.
And to be fair, Matchroom, I mean, surely they should have had someone doing their own work, looking at what purse bids they've put in before. What they know, work at a bit of an average, and then just go above that average.
But they're accountants, aren't they, Dad, at the end of the day? Eddie and they're accountants, aren't they? So,
yeah. Listen, Chris hit it on Ed earlier. He says they probably look and think, well, if we bid 2 million, we're not gonna make anything
on it. Yeah.
So we're not gonna do that.
And anything over is eating into the profits, so we're not doing it.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
You've also, I mean, to bid that. You've also got to put obviously a good undercard on, and then you're going to get fighter pull-outs. So yeah, it's it's a bit of a. I mean, listen, they haven't made the money they've made with throwing money away, have they?
Yeah.
So
no, but because of the old landscape of boxing's changed, hasn't it, in the last couple of years? And I kind of feel it's not just Matchroom. Queensbury are probably just as guilty of this. They've taken the eye off the ball in the UK.
Mate, do you know if
I think Queensbury are doing okay. I think.
No, I was going to say we did have Dubois Rusick about last month, undisputed.
I think.
I know, but I'm on about the general, like the normal Saturday night, the normal Saturday night events that where you were getting massive fights on a Queensbury show. That they've disappeared, they've gone, and you see.
I know, like the ones at York Hall, like them kind of cards. I can't remember the name. Them where it had all the prospects.
Monday night fights.
Yeah.
You're seeing
Sky Sports.
I actually think Warren's doing a good job at the minute. I think on all fronts, I think Warren's doing a good job.
Boxing changed in all landscapes. I mean, there was a time in boxing where if you was a prospect, a promoter, willing that they got the money, would be chucking a load of money to you.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruno, people looked at Bruno and thought, yeah, we think he could do something. He's popular. He had a bit of a scare with an eye. They sent him to best laser surgeon in the world, paid like 30 grand for it, back in before he even turned pro. It's same with tickets. It never used to be like tickets. A promoter would pay the home fighter, let's say $2.5 grand, pay the away fighter $1 grand. If they pulled an upset off, they get a bonus.
Yeah.
What you're seeing, lads, is fights that were mid card or maybe second to main card on some of these Matchroom and Boxer and Queensbury card shows for British or Commonwealth title fights are now landing on small halls because these shows aren't available for them to be on, which means the fighters of those fights are not getting paid. They're not getting the money they deserve.
Do you know when? If you've got like British title fights, Commonwealth title fights, maybe some European title fights. I know we've always got Central area, Midlands area, and all that English title fights. Mate, I tell you, as much as what probably the fighters are maybe losing out, the winner there is the fans.
I get that, Daz, but these fights deserve to be on TV. These fights deserve to be on bigger shows, and they're not. And that's because of the landscape of boxing that's changed. I mean, we've got one this weekend, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Craig Derbyshire is fighting Liam Dring for the light flyweight Commonwealth title. It's on, and this is no disrespect to the promotion because they're doing everything they can to make that fight happen. It's on in a tiny venue in Alfreton, Derbyshire. It's going completely under the radar. Most boxing fans won't even know it's happening, and it's a brilliant fight, lads.
Mate,
it's a brilliant fight.
Have you seen how many fights are on that bill?
I have, yeah, I have. That's by the by, Daz, right? Yeah. Fighters pull out, but they're making that card, even though it's a small card now. They're still making it happen because of that Commonwealth title fight.
Yeah. Well, if they're putting that on with 3 fights on, 2 4-rounders and a 12-round Commonwealth title fight. They're obviously going to lose money, right? Don't moan about losing money if you're going to put a card on that's got 3 fights on.
Yeah,
you can't moan about it. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose money, right? Fair play to them for still putting it on for the fighters, but it's. I mean, what happens if the first 2 fighters fans then decide I'm going to go out on piss? Do you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, but that don't happen on them cards, mate. I've been to them shows a number of times. The fight fans of the undercard fighters always stick around. That gym, it's known for the fans of anybody that's in that gym.
Are they all from the same gym? Are they all from the same gym or on card? Yeah.
All I'll say, and I'm not going to say much more, but they're very fortunate to have very good sponsorships. Yeah. And I'll leave it there. Very, very fortunate.
I mean, as you'll know, you'll know yourself, mate. Any small old promoter will know just how expensive it is to put on title fights. How expensive it is, sanctioning fees and all of that before you even pay your opponents. It's a lot of money, mate. And these small old shows, it's really difficult to make any money on basic 6 round, 4 rounds, and 8 round fights. Never mind putting a title fight on.
I mean, what is it to walk in? 50 quid? Is that your lowest price ticket?
Probably it's it, yeah.
I think it is 50 quid, which is a lot of dough, isn't it, for people in the street to find at the minute?
Yeah.
But the thing you've got, Carl, is with small all shows, it's not your general boxing fan that goes to these.
No,
it's friends, family, and of the fighters that are on the card. The point I'm making is that this fight, this Commonwealth title fight, deserves to be on a bigger platform. It deserves to be on a TV. It deserves to be right high up on a card. But because of the boxing landscape changing, and I'm only using this one this weekend as an example because it's happening all over the country. Commonwealth title fights, English title fights, British title fights are happening on small old shows, and they're going completely under the radar. And your normal general boxing fan that sits down on a Saturday night, puts his own on, or Sky Sports on, or whoever else, and just likes watching the big names. They won't even know these fights are happening, and for me, that's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad that that's the way boxing's going, and it's only going to get worse as long as we've got this situation where, and I'm going to say it right, where Eddie and Frank have taken their eye off the ball. They've got a little bit lazy because they've got the big bags of money coming from Turkey and all that deal that goes off over there. They're not having to work too hard to make these big shows anymore. I just think they've taken their eye off the ball, especially in the UK.
Well, what about Ben Schlom as well? You can throw him in the mix, can't you? Because he had a platform to support small halls through.
He fucked it up.
Yeah, via the Sky Network, and that didn't happen.
Yeah,
did it?
Completely. Yeah. He's the same, mate. And look at what's happened there. He's the deal that he had with what was a few years back the biggest platform for boxing. No longer is. I mean, do we even know whether Sky are going to be having boxing going forward?
There's also, mate, as well. Listen, let's go back to. I mean, listen, Izzy's a friend of mine as well, but I'm an honest guy.
Izzy Asif, GBM.
Yeah. And when GBM started, mate, they were putting some fantastic fights on. Good cards. Tickets weren't massively overpriced. There were, the productions for the fighters were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
There were small all shows, but with a big time production, and they were putting good fights on. Listen, I'm not saying they were putting 50-50 fights on, but they were putting 60-40s on.
Before you carry on, let me just jump in and give you a quote from another small old promoter that had put one of his fighters on an Izzy Asif show, Carl Greaves. He said, GBM are a TV promoter without TV.
Yeah, he said that when he was on stage with me when Emma Dolan fought Nicola.
There you go.
Yeah, I was sat on stage when he said it. And yeah, it was right. I actually said totally agree with him. But we had that thing with TalkSport. Everything was going along, fine. It was making a name, and then he's gone to the zone. And listen, it might be, everyone wants to be on that TV, get that deal, but it seems like some of the fighters who we had on them shows are no longer TV friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't seem to be on them shows as much. It's just a little bit, I think, do you sort of, listen, everyone's got to progress. Everyone wants to, get to their higher echelon sort of thing. Excuse me. But I don't know. I mean, I think they had they were coming up and they were a breath of fresh air. They were doing stuff. I mean, Nicola boxed on a few of their shows. He put Hervey Emma on. He put Hervey Gemma on for Commonwealth. But it seems like GBM put fighters on, and then that's it. Emma Dolan beat Lauren Parker on that show. I thought Emma would have been signed by him. You know, I mean, listen, whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know, but I don't think it's happened as yet. You know, I thought basically Emma should have probably been signed by him when she beat Nicola, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then when she beat Lauren, I mean, she went and beat Shannon Ryan on a Matchroom show, and then she come back and beat Lauren. You know, you just think, well, if she's not going to get signed, who's going to get signed?
I mean, what more does she have to do?
Yeah.
No, I see it.
1,000,000%, mate. I mean,
so just again to jump in, Dad. Sorry, mate. I've got an interview dropping on the channel tonight, tomorrow, maybe with Carl Greaves. We talk about Emma Dolan. We talk about what's currently happening with Emma Dolan. It's a very frustrating time for her and Carl.
I bet.
Because at the end of the day, mate, she's sat number one with the IBF. I'm not going to talk too much more because it's on the interview. So please go and watch the interview when it drops on the channel. But sorry, mate, carry on. I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, it's like, you know, what more does she have to do? I mean, she beat Nicola, she beat Shannon Ryan, she beat Lauren Parker. I mean,
and she's done all that on the road. She's done all that as the away fighter.
I mean, Nicola's gone on to, you know, to win a world title. She's then, you know, Shannon Ryan's fighting Chloe Watson next in a fight she's more than capable of winning. Lauren Parker's a capable fighter, so she what more does she have to do? You know, who in the right mind's not going to look? What promoter in the right mind's not going to look at Emma Dolan and think, do you know what, she could win a world title easily? And back her. I mean,
Isn't it? She's not fashionable.
Why is she? I don't get that though. Why? No, I know that, mate. I get what you're saying because Emma says it herself. I mean, when we've been over sparring with Nick and her, you know, she'll probably say it's because I probably don't talk shit, but you know, that's refreshing, isn't it?
You shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
It shouldn't have to be that way. It should be she's the mandatory. She's getting the fight next. That's
100%.
it.
I mean, she's what else does she need to do? She's got into a fight on GBM as the champion, but in the away corner in reality, because Nick was the one that was being promoted by or the own fighter for.
Yeah, she was
the fight that night.
Can we stop talking about that fight?
She then goes on to.
Practice was shocking that night.
After winning that Commonwealth title, she then goes to Matchroom, and obviously Matchroom think that Shannon Ryan's going to do a number on her and take the title.
Yep.
Emma doesn't allow that to happen. She goes away again into their backyard and does a number on Shannon Ryan. Yeah. There was an option there for Matchroom to sign her, and they never did it. Why? And then she goes. She goes then to York Hall in Lauren Parker's backyard to fight Lauren Parker and does a number on her, former European champion. I don't understand what else Emma Dolan has to do to prove to anybody, any promoter in the world,
mate,
that she's world level and deserves a world title.
Easily. I mean, I'll say as well, the fight between Emma and Nick. I mean that made Nick a better fighter. You know, that helped Nick no end. And obviously we went sparring afterwards, and I'm sure we'll spar again at some point. But, you know, judging by what Emma went on to do in fights after, I mean, that just elevates Nick's performance even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I mean, but going back to the point where, as a promoter, why would you not look at Emma Dolan and think, do you know what, you could beat any world champions?
And I assume we would have had an option. I assume we'd have had an option on Emma Dolan because normally he puts that in the contract, right? Normally.
We'd have thought, yeah.
Are you talking Matchroom now, Cole?
Yeah.
You're about Matchroom? Yeah, there was an option.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally he does put an option in, don't you? So
there was one, mate, but he decided not to take it.
Maybe get someone like a Sam Jones, like a middleman buffer, to take her on, and then he might be able to get her the fights and the deals because he's in with all the promoters, isn't he?
Well, that might be a perfect segue into the last section, Andy. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Let's move on to the last topic because it is an ideal, and we that man's name might get brought up. This one has absolutely staggered me, lads. I'm still shaking my head because I don't understand it. Jack Catterall has decided to leave long-term trainer Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis.
Not good.
Statement was put out the other day. Let's try and break the bones of this because I don't get it, boys. I don't, especially at this point in his career. Why? That's the question. Why, Carl?
If I knew that, I think I'd be a rich man. He put a statement out, didn't he, which didn't really answer anything, did it? Let's be honest. Is it the Sam Jones effect? It's interesting how Dubois left his trainer and Sam Jones is managing him. Catterall leaves his trainer. Are they both going to end up at Tibbs? I'll use the word allegedly next to that, but I'm wondering. I just can't see no rhyme or reason to it. I think Catterall's on the slight decline anyway. I think we've seen his best days. I understand why. It must have been heartbreaking not to win that unified decision. His last performance wasn't particularly great, was it? But I just don't get it. I don't get it. I think Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis, well respected within the coaching circles. Does he think the grass is greener? I don't know. That maybe that's the scenario, because obviously Jamie Moore's is one of the top trainers in the country, up and coming, well respected. So I don't know. I don't know why he's left him, Andy, to be honest with you. I don't know. And they're all playing nicely at the minute where you don't. Obviously, Jamie Moore's a very respectful guy. He ain't going to start coming out and saying this, that, and the other. So I don't think we'll ever find out.
Chris, Jamie Moore's got to be sat there wondering, what have I done wrong here? Because he loses Chantel Cameron after he's got her to a position where she was very hard done to in the first fight with Katie Taylor,
and that's worked out well, hasn't it?
And yeah, she goes off to what she thinks is pastures new, and it didn't quite work out that way. And now she's moved again. So, and this Jack Catterall one, I mean, I think he puts in his statement that the family, they're like brothers, but you're still left. So why?
It's one of the it's times changed, like in boxing. So I'll give you an example. If you think back to your grandma and granddad, I bet everyone here, most of us here, they're probably married for like 50, 60 years.
Oh, where are you going with this?
Then you think, right, now mums and dads these days, they're always splitting up and getting married again. You know what I mean? They're not loyal. And it's the same with boxing coaches. Back in the day, you'd have the same coach from start to finish. Now, you lose one fight, you shit now, I want a new coach. That's how it is. It's just a new. So now in boxing, if they're not doing so well, they just think, if I change my coach, I might do better. And then that's just what's happening. If you think about all the boxers from like 2015 onwards, or even how many have, there's more that have changed coaches than there is that have stayed the same the whole way through, if you get what I'm saying. And that's just it. The grass is greener on the other side. Oh, I've not won any world titles, so let me try a different coach. It might help. That's what I think it is, as simple as that.
Who do you think he goes with, Chris? If you had to put your last pound on it, where does he land?
I'll probably say someone like maybe a Shane McGuigan, someone like that. Or yeah, I'll probably say Shane, or maybe Adam Booth. Yeah.
Daz, when fighters normally make these decisions, I agree with a lot of what Chris has said there. When fighters make these decisions, they do it because they in their heads, they believe that they've gone as far as they can with the coach that they've got, and they need a fresh outlook. They need a different voice. They need something that's going to motivate them a different way, or they go into a coach that's going to teach them a different style because the coach they're with has had the same style for all of their career, and they don't believe that coach is going to be able to give them the next step. Well, we're talking about a fighter here that that hasn't got a massive amount of years left when it comes to being at the very top end. He's got a style that a lot of people think is boring. A lot of people think he's negative, defensive, cautious. Is he going to go to a coach now at this stage in his career that's going to change his style?
Oh.
But I mean, that's crazy if that's what he's going to try and do. I mean, it's baffled me why he's left, to be honest. But like Chris said, listen, it's always the trainer's fault.
Always.
And listen, and a great man once told me as well, the grass is always greener on the other side, but that's because it's fertilized by bullshit.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, listen, he's obviously made this decision with his manager, maybe his family, and thought, you know, I need something different. And you can't slag a man off for that. If he truly believes that's excuse me for the better for his career, fair play to him. But I think sometimes fighters will leave trainers rather than really just looking at themselves, you know, and thinking. And do you know what as well? I was just thinking while you guys were talking. A lot of fighters, and this is maybe probably because of the trainer, don't allow input from the fighter in themselves during training. You know, maybe there's things that I'm not saying this is the case with Jamie Moore and Travis and Catterall, but I mean to totally change Jack Catterall's style and it's just not going to work. It's just not in his makeup to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen. It's always the trainer's fault. I mean, he's probably. I don't know if he's. I can't believe that Catterall would have just left, and we are speaking to someone else. You know, we are talking to another trainer. You know, because then if he's left and now he's got to look for another trainer,
that's daft.
It's a long process. So if he's like, what he should have done really is he should have spoke to Jamie and Nigel quite a bit ago, then said, look, we'll announce it when thingy, and then he's obviously have a look. But I mean, what they're going to do with him? I mean, it's not in his makeup to change, to be aggressive. I mean, I've got a little whisper in my ear that he's going to go to Ben Davison.
No.
Yeah.
He's analytical video analysis.
Yeah,
That makes it worse.
Yeah. I've got a hunch, mate. I've got a little whisper in me.
Down at that gym now does. He must have some number of fighters.
You what, mate?
Fighters must be coming out of his ears if he goes to Ben Davison.
Andy Lee. I bet he goes to Andy Lee.
That would be the better option if he's going to leave.
If he wants to be a bit more aggressive, a little bit of Kronk, can't help help no one.
Yeah, you see, Ben's just aggression. You know, he'll analyze stuff. But I just
Andy Lee's quality into Andy Lee's quality.
Yeah, I mean, you can say you've got, you know, Andy Lee, Jamie Moore, Stephen Smith, you know, there's quite, you know, Mark Tibbs,
Shane McGuigan.
Don Charles, he's free right now.
Shane McGuigan. You've got this, and there's a lot of absolutely class.
Yeah, I like Paul Stevenson at Everton Red Triangle.
Yeah.
Oh, that Andrew Kane and Nick Ball's trainer.
Yeah.
He's doing good stuff. I mean, he's got.
Who's the Scouser that was coaching? The kid from Manchester. I can't remember his name for his last fight. And I think he's trained George Groves before as well. For one, what's he called? And the kid, he smokes weed when he's not training normally. He admitted it. What's he called? And he just retired from boxing. And he's like one of the lower weights. I can't remember his fucking name. And he used to fight. And he used to fight outside of Black Flash. What's he called?
Pat Barrett.
Yeah, he used to fight from his gym. Like, it was like, oh, and he's got a brother who boxes.
Oh,
I can't fucking remember his name. Oh, bloody hell. And Bam Bam Rodriguez stopped him.
Sonny Edwards.
Oh, Sonny Edwards.
Yes, the kid that trained him in his last fight. That Scouse kid.
Yeah, I know.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's a good upcoming British trainer. Yeah. I like it. I like his style.
Listen, I don't care what any of you say. The best upcoming British trainers sat on this stream right now.
Why? Where's Carl Reeves?
This is the legendary trainer. This is the legendary one. He's a legend already.
That's Carl joined.
I think Carl's established, mate. I don't think Carl's up and coming.
Lads, I just don't. There's no way he's left Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis without already having a coach. There's no way.
I don't know if tapping up happens in boxing. I'm sure it does.
Of course it does.
But what I would say, no way is a guy of Jack Catterall's level going to leave a trainer without having a trainer to go to.
Well, it's not even just Jack Catterall's level. It happens at all levels.
Yeah.
Conversations get had, fighters get pulled to one side by a different coach, and that coach will be whispering in the tab. Happens all the time, mate. Yeah, or by managers. Happens in their ears. Come to this coach, he can get this for you. He'll do this for you, he'll do that for you. And fighters get their heads turned. I'm not saying that's what's happened here with Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall is a very established fighter. He should be undisputed. That should be on his record.
Let's hope he's made the right decision, though. He's left one hell of a fighter. A trainer, sorry.
Yeah.
But don't forget, he was like Mayweather's chief sparring partner back in the day. He might go to America. Because he was like Mayweather, Pacquiao, like they used to use Jack Catterall all the time.
That could be a good shot.
He might go
to America.
One of their coaches and set up camp over there.
Going to America could be a good shot.
Well, someone's at my door, guys, and time's getting on, so I'm going to have to shoot. I'm going to have to love you and leave you.
All right, cheers, Chris.
Catch you on the next
one. Thanks for joining, Chris.
Thanks for having us, guys.
That's probably a good position to bring the show to a close, I think.
Yep.
Carl, any last words?
No, it's good to get back live again. Obviously, like you said at the beginning of the show, this will be a regular Thursday night slot at various times, depending on availability. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. A lot of activity in the comments at the minute. A lot of feedback to the pre-records and the lives. So thank you for your contributions. And we'll see you on the next live. Andy, I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah, some great content coming on the channel. I've got a couple of big interviews dropping over the next couple of days. One from Carl Greaves himself, and one from the boxing bin man Rendell Munro from his gym. Very interesting things being said on them interviews, by the way. So, as Carl just said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications. You'll get notifications of when we go live. You'll get notifications of when interviews and other content drops on the channel. But for now, thanks for joining. This has been Last Bell Boxing. Cheers, lads.
Cheers.